Hi there, welcome back to the channel. So it's been a while since I made a video, but I have been working. I was just doing boring stuff that, was even more boring than usual that I probably wouldn't want to capture. No one would want to watch clerical work. And so what I've been doing is I noticed that my SD card, now I don't know if you ever look up the remain on your SD card, but if you go to the SD card, let's go to, what's this, Tool. So you're going to go to Tool, and at the bottom it says SD card, and you kind of use your arrow keys or whatever. You use your arrow keys, and you hit Enter, and it'll say Remain. And boom, I'm excited. That's right at 50%. It says 47, 22, 47. I guess that's what I have left. And I've used 14,347 megabytes so far. I guess, yeah, whatever. I don't know. So I've got half my card left. The card that I had in it was filling up rapidly, and I was worried that I would be like in the middle of a session or something and it would be like no battery and shut me down for the night and be annoying, mess up the take or something, or just it's time to clean up. And so what I did was I took my first record, which is called Die Sung, Dynamite Death Chair Die Sung. That was 10 songs. I took that record off the card by dragging all the projects onto my computer. So I connect with the USB cable that it comes with, drag all the projects, the entire project, the name of it, pull it all the way over into the computer, let them load. I've saved it on the computer. Now I take the new SD card, put it in the Zoom, drag that entire album onto the new SD card along with the new album. The new album's called the Red Album, and I've got 7 songs. Brought that one over. So now I've got the 17 songs sitting in here and half the card left. So that's really cool. I'll be able to finish this album and put another one on there. So I'm excited. And I wanted to talk about the importance of saving your files, because the file saving thing is pretty critical if you're in digital only. We're not making a tape. So I can't later take that tape and go do whatever I want with it. If I had a master tape, I could remix, I could remaster for days. All the tracks are on there and they're all separated, 24 tracks or 16 tracks, whatever it is. And so I don't have that. All I have is little SD cards and WAV files. So in order to preserve my music, I'm making sure to make multiple copies. So I have the original SD card that's in here. Then I've got the new SD card that's in the machine. Then I've got a copy of both records in this computer, my new MacBook, two backup hard drives. So I've got it pretty much everywhere. I've got the record all over the place. My wife's computer has both records. Actually, it doesn't have the new record, but it has the first album. And I have it on a G drive. So I've got the record backed up all over the place. Because who knows, formats change. Who knows, WAV files may go away. So you need to make sure you have the original stuff with, I think, the original equipment. That's always helpful too. So I'm going to try to keep this Zoom. It's not like I'm going to sell it. I bought it for $200. Come on. So I'll keep that. And into the future, 20 years from now, who knows? And the way I view these albums is they're not really albums to me as much as they were back when I was in a band. It's documentation of my songs. I don't really release them. I didn't even press vinyl of the other one, so I kind of see them as demos. And who knows, maybe I'll get to re-record them with my band in the future. But for now, this might be the only way they ever exist, is me doing it here on this YouTube channel and documenting it on my Zoom R24. So I try to make the songs finished, but I also think of them as demos, because whenever I get around Mark and John and see what all they can do musically, it just makes my eyes open up and my ears open up to all the possibilities on some of my songs. And I always like to think of moving forward anyway, so I can just incinerate these tunes once I'm done and keep writing new ones. That's the goal. But I'm going to continue to just document and finish this record. I've got let's see, I've got this song to finish, Drugstore Cowboy. Then I have another song that I wrote, and then we have that Spy for Love tune that I was working on with the guys, but I don't even know if I'm going to put that on the record. I feel like I've got another one in me, so I'm at the finish line as far as writing the record. Just got to finish recording it, and after hearing all of the songs and stuff, I feel pretty good. At first I was freaking out because I was hating some of it, and on the song We Know Them, I was like, that's one of my good ones. And I went back and listened to it, and it had this like mechanical vocal sound that was just unacceptable. It made the whole song sound so weird. And I was like, what the hell is this? And it was like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, how did I let this vocal go like this? There's no way. And so I came up here and I was going to retake it and everything. And I wasn't even going to document it because it was just so annoying, and didn't want to talk about it, you know. Didn't want to even have to think about having to redo that vocal. And so I came up here and saw this extra vocal track that was on that must have been like either a weird version. I don't know what it was. It was a double or what. And I just turned it off. I just clicked it off, and now everything was fine. It sounded normal. So that was good. But it's that kind of thing, you know. I'm in that phase now where I'm going through and just getting everything ready to be finished. I'd like to have this whole thing done this summer, you know, like just done, like going into the fall. New records completed, looking for shows to play back, you know, trying to get my live game back up and running again. John's coming back to live in this area, at least for a while. Like, he'll be in New York half the year, here half the year, that kind of thing. So we're trying to get the band back together, you know, for live shows. So that's what I want to do. And all right, so I did all the cleanup, I got everything ready, and I thought that I was going to do some more guitar work, and this always happens to me. I think I'm going to do some retracking, and I just almost never do. Like, retracking's for the birds, you know, unless it's just totally screwed. Like that hook tune, the guitar, if I was going to use that song, the guitar would have to be retracked, because it's like, I don't know if I was grabbing too funny or whatever, or like it was back when I was still using my Squire, and I need to work on that guitar and get it dialed back in again. It's been neglected since I built this one, but I'd have to retrack it, and I just don't think the song is good enough. So now here I am tracking this one, and I just wanted to go through a few things, like what I do to track guitars, in case that helps someone. I've got lots of videos about it, but I do something new every time, so this video might be the one that's effective to help you open up your journey, you know, show you something that you haven't seen before, or make you laugh your head off when you see what a stupid thing I'm doing. Sorry about that. It's getting hot, and like there's still like dust in the air, like pollen type dust that keeps getting me. Alright, so right now I'm in the hot channel. I've got it all the way up, both bass and, you know, there's not much of a tone stack. There is no tone stack, it's just a tone knob, and I think it's flat when you turn it all the way up. And I always keep the volume all the way up most of the time. Every once in a while I roll it off, but there's not much reason to. It's better with this amp to roll the guitar off. And I've got it in the hot channel, but I may end up putting it in the softer channel, the less gain channel, just to get a cleaner tone. We'll experiment with that. That's why I was going to do that on camera, just so I can listen back later and see if I made the right choices. So I'm in the regular rock and roll channel, got everything cranked. The guitar will be like on 2 or 3, just because I want a real clean tone, but I want the, you know, full power of the amp. Now, here's how I mic these. I learned this from working with Steve Albini and at Electrical Audio. I watched everything he did. Now, he does all kinds of insane stuff. Like when he records drums, there's microphones everywhere. But he has an isolated room, you know, it's like an amazing room where he's got, like, it's vented, so all the bass drum noise and stuff shoots down, you know, to the basement below. And the whole thing's sealed, you know, like the room is sealed like a glass door. So he does some insane stuff with guitar amps, and I've noticed sometimes he'll put a mic right here and then a mic out here, or like a mic here and then one back here, you know, like does a lot of boundary miking. But the main thing I picked up from him was this 8-inch thing, because you'll see most of the time people put the speaker right on the grill, the mic right on the grill cloth. I mean, it works, it's great, but this gives you a little more room tone. I don't know why I just really like it. Once I heard it compared to the way I was doing it before, I was doing the conventional way where you just kind of put it right up there. I don't know if it eliminated proximity effect, some of that kind of woofiness, and it also opened up the room. Like, you get more, I don't know, more sound. It sounded bigger. Same as I've learned with keeping the sealed bass drum and bringing the mic away from the drum. It's like the projection gives you more depth or something, like bigger tone, even though nothing bigger is happening. You're not hitting it any harder or anything like that. You're not cranking it up or compressing more. It's just, I have no idea. Don't understand the physics of microphones, that well. All right, so what I do is I use this 8-inch mark, and it's right here. So I just line this baby up, and you've got to really, if you want to do 2 mics like this, it's kind of a big deal because you go out of phase like constantly. I mean, it's like phase is the thing with doing this. So I do some pretty goofy little ways of making sure that I got them you have to keep them the exact same distance. So what I do here is I'm going to take this thing here, put it on the grill cloth. I see the line for the 8 inches. I'm going to put my finger in the middle of that line and on the mic. And then I just take this whole apparatus that I've set up and come over here and do the same thing without moving anything. Just make sure it's there. And of course, when I record, I'm going to make sure that it stays in phase. But if I were to have one of these go off, and like say I bumped it with my knee and I didn't realize it, and I moved this one an inch forward, so now they're off axis and they're not getting the information from the cab at the same time. They're getting a little different. Well, suddenly one of them will take over and become more powerful than the other one and sort of wash out both of them. It's like neither one of them is any good. And you kind of, like if you mess around with the faders on an out of phase signal that you recorded, you kind of have to move the faders to this certain point where you get some signal. Like if you go all the way up, it'll die with one channel, and if you go the other way with the other channel, it'll just go. It's really weird. But you don't want that. You want both channels roaring at the same level, because you've been careful to make sure your levels are the same on each channel. So I think this kind of stereo miking is cool. And it adds a lot of, not stereo miking, dual mono miking. It gives you a lot of extra sound, especially if your cabinet has different speakers, because this one is this one's Alnico. No, this one's ceramic. This one's Alnico. This one's Alnico. This one's ceramic. So it's like an X pattern. So you get this, and they sound very different. The Alnico breaks up really fast and has like this sweet kind of, it always sounds sort of distorted, like always it purrs. Whereas the ceramic stays tighter, harder, gives you more of like a punch and less of that kind of, diffused tone that the blue Alnico gives you. All right, so 2 separate speakers, 2 microphones, but you have to be careful of phase. When in doubt, just use 1 microphone. It's a lot easier. I just got hooked on it. You get 2 channels, and I usually just use 1 guitar for rhythm. Something about 1 rhythm guitar, like if you start stacking guitars to make it bigger, somehow, I don't know why, but to me, it begins to wash away. You start losing something. The more you stack on, maybe the frequencies start canceling. I don't know what it is, but 1 guitar says it all. So I got this idea in Chicago to do and he may be doing something different now. Now I don't say that I said he did it like this, because I don't want to, say that he's doing it and it's not the right way. But this is what I remember seeing, is this 8-inch thing, and it's worked well for me. I have had phase issues a couple of times, but if you have phase issues, you just stop the take and move the mics and get it right. All right, now the other thing I noticed just playing around with this a minute ago, I noticed that this one was peaking like crazy. So I'm going to risk messing it up. I don't think I'll mess it up as long as I don't move the mic stand. But I've got to lift this up and put the 20 dB, the minus 20 dB on it. Is it on minus 20? Shoot, it was already on minus 20 dB. Okay. Well, I just risked my mic placement for nothing. All right, let me just move it right back to position and hope that we didn't lose anything. I kind of tilted this. Oh, there. It's nice and straight again. So let me just check again. I put my little method here. This finger goes here, kind of right in the middle. I'm not going to move anything. Just keep this exactly as it is. And then go here. Yeah. I mean, it's not exact probably, but I think it's close enough to where the ears don't hear the phase. Okay, next issue. So, what's the chain? What's the recording chain here? All right, we got 2 microphones. This one is a large diaphragm condenser. It's the P220 by AKG. I got it for like $100. I think it retails for like $170, $160, something like that. It's okay. It's not the greatest microphone either, but but it gets the job done. All right, so it goes to this Rane MS1B microphone preamp, and I have the 48 volt phantom on. You got to have that for this mic, or it doesn't give me any output. And I've got it rolled all the way off right now because this amp's loud. And we'll see. This song is a little quieter, so I might end up turning that up. And then this baby's going right into the Zoom input 2, or it might be input 1. Let me see. Yeah, it's input 1, and then input 2 is that one. I might switch that. I usually have the one that is the mic pre in 1. Don't ask me why. And then that way I can control this one with the gain on the channel strip as opposed to the mic pre. Now you can still use the gain on the channel strip, and I usually do use some gain on the channel strip no matter what. Integrate the two pre's together, but this just for more clean power. For whatever reason, the Zoom does not do phantom power. I mean, it says it does, but get real. It's not, you know, it's not there. I can't use these microphones without, I can't use this one without the MS1B, or it just doesn't deliver. All right, so on the first row of tracks, that's 1 through 8 here, I did my drums. So I had my 4 microphones. Remember that? If you've been watching this, 1 was the snare, 2 was the left overhead, track 3 was the right overhead, and track 4 was the bass drum. So that's the first 4 tracks. So when I did the work, I take it out of the, I take the mono 000, mono 001, mono 002, mono 003, pull those onto the computer, go to Audacity, do my conditioning, sweetening, which is mainly just a high pass filter, and silencing gaps and stuff like that, but I don't do anything else. I do everything with the Zoom. I use the effects in the Zoom, or no effects at all. It's pretty effect-free overall. And then I name those tracks in the computer and then bring them back in. So guess what? On track 1, strip 1, where I'm going to start, those original mono 001 tracks are still there. So what I have to do, you're going to go to the track that you want to use, which is for me going to be track 1, track 2. I'm going to go to track, the track button, and I go to track 1, and I'm going to hit the take. I'm going to hit enter on take, and then I'm going to hit file, hit enter again. And now you'll see new take. You kind of have to scroll through. It actually popped right up for me, but it's in alphabetical order. Whatever you've named your tracks, they're mono 1, it'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and then LMNOP in new track, new take will be, you know, somewhere under those M's. That's where you can kind of find it. And then you hit on it. You know, you just hit enter, and now track 1 is a new take. I'm going to use my arrow and do the same thing with track 2. Hit file, wait till it comes up, find new take, hit enter, and now my first 2 channel strips, 1 and 2, are armed, so they're red. And the take is, I mean, the track is completely clear. It's a new take. All right, so next step. Taking the guitar, I have plugged the guitar directly into the amplifier. No effects, no pedal board or anything like that. And let's just see what the tone of the amp is. Had it in standby. Okay, I'm going to put it on like 3. Find the quietest position to be in, a single coil guitar. Just blows my mind at how good it sounds. Sounds freaking awesome. Okay, so this one here. All right, so next, let's do the next thing. So there's our first little glimpse at the guitar tone. Let me do the next thing here. I'm going to go to Pan EQ. No, wait, let's go to Effect. So we're going to go to Effect, and I've actually got an algorithm on the clean. Let's change it to, let's actually just change it to off. What am I doing here? Just turn it to off. So there's no effect now. Next thing we're going to want to do is go to Pan EQ, and I'm going to go to 1724 and then make my way to 24, which is the master. or not 24, it's just the master, the red strip. And I'm going to take it all the way up to 100. So now we've got a unity gain recording, and on each channel strip we're at 100 with some extra gain coming from our gain knob. Alright, so now pan EQ, I'm going to work my way back up there, go back to 1 through 8, work my way to 1, go to center, make sure my EQ is on 0, reverb chorus 0, fader. Let's get that fader up to 100. 100 on the fader, and 100 on this fader. And it's funny how you can move it with the wheel and then you go and move the channel switch and it like starts back over again. Okay, so to review what I did, I went to effect and turned it off. Don't need effects. I went to pan EQ and took it all the way to the master. Made sure the master was at 100. That's the red strip with the red fader. Got out, went back to the first 2 tracks, made sure they're at 100, and now we can check levels again. So now I know that the machine is going to record the way I want it to. No effects and at unity gain. Everything's at 100. Alright, so let's see what our levels look like now. Because just a minute ago, this one was fine, this one needed more. Let's see what happens now. Okay, the second one needs to be turned up just a bit. And let me go to Tool all the way up to Tuner. Let's just see what kind of tune we have. Well, I'm not going to do that because I've got it tuned down. Exit. It might be out of tune. Let me see. That's how well this guitar is now holding tune. It was in a gig bag I drove from home, you know, and I wasn't even thinking about trying to keep it in tune or anything like that. I just pulled it out of the gig bag, haven't touched a tuner. It's probably not in perfect tune, you know, but it's playable, which is a testament to how well this guitar has ended up turning out. It's just been amazing. All right, so let's get this second mic level correct. So I've got this on. I'm going to put it. I'm lining the bridge pickup magnet, like the little pole piece, with 3. That seems about right. Down at this channel strip, and both of them are peaking at the exact same spot. You know, they're like coming up to 0. So I'm getting -6 essentially, and they're even. So I've got the gain at about maybe 2 o'clock. Yeah, about 2 o'clock on number 2, and the gain is at about 9 o'clock on 1. But I've got no gain on the. I could push the gain more there, but I think I like the balance of leaving some of the gain on the zoom, a little bit of the character of the zoom. Just seems to record better too when you have some gain pumping through the zoom. I have no idea why. Somebody probably knows. So now, I've been practicing this one a lot. The tricky thing about this one is I have this chorus where it's just like whole notes where you go. And I noticed that's tricky because the drums are like, and if you were tracking basic tracks, you would hopefully be able to see the. So, like, say we were at the studio and you were looking in the glass cage where the drummer is, you'd be able to track, you know, get on the beat with him and watch the cymbals come down. So I've got a way to fix it. I looked at the zoom, and I'm going to use the lights from the meter to sort of direct my. Okay, so one last thing. I think I've got levels right. I think this is the right volume. I just want to make sure that I shouldn't be in this normal channel instead of the hot channel. So let me go up to the normal channel. And I'm going to go to 3. Let's just go back to the hot one, because I think the hot just gives you more plunk, getting more noise, more sound, like more pickup sound, more character. It's just louder, and so it just gives it more of a presence. I think that I'm just going to leave it like that. Levels too. Okay, whew. Now let me show you something cool. This is why this amp and this guitar and amp combo is so rad. I can take this anywhere without any kind of pedal board and everything. It does everything I want it to do, because I'm essentially a rhythm guitar player anyway, you know, so I'm not going to be covering everything unless I'm playing by myself, which hopefully that won't be the case. Because Mark can do it, you know, anything. So I get a really good tone by just plugging in. So like on 3 I've got this, you know. Watch this. Go to 10. Versatility, oh my god, so much you can do, you know, unbelievable. These Lawler pickups, black limba body, roasted maple fender neck, rock and roll machine. Alright, so I got my works cut out for me. Got to keep practicing. I'll be back tomorrow to lay this down, lay the bass down, lay the vocal down. This song's done, and then I'm going to start recording that one. I'm excited about that one. That sounds mean, nasty. Next time.